Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Saratoga Racecourse here on Saturday. It is August the 31st, 2019. It's Woodward Day from Saratoga, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races, including the Woodward. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. So let's get to the stakes action for the spot. We're going to look at races 3, 6, 10, 11. So races 3, 6, 10, 11. We have a lot of races to get to, so let's get on to it. Starting off with the third from Saratoga, which is the Prioress Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $250,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. Field of 6 horses stepping to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or 6 furlongs on that main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here. My top selection, we're going to go to the number 5 horse, as my iPad craps out. We're going to go to the 5 horse, who is Royal Charlotte. We'll go 5-2-3-1 in the superfecta. 5-2-3-1 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Royal Charlotte. 3-0 filly by Cairo Prince. Chad Brown trains. Javier Castellano gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came the 3rd of August at Saratoga. 7 furlongs in the Grade 1 test. And the horse finished 6th by 20 3/4 of a length that day. Just had absolutely nothing. Was very wide and just couldn't keep up with those better Grade 1 horses. I think a step down in class here today. Not the toughest Grade 2 in the world. I think this horse should just run a lot better. Before that, the horse ran the Grade 3 victory ride at Belmont, 6.5 furlongs, July the 5th, and she won by 4 that day. She absolutely, destroyed the field, sat back early, had a great turn of foot, and then could have went around another 5 times. She beat a very, good group of horses there. And then before then, the hysterical lady at Monmouth, 6 furlongs, made the 27th. It was a lesser quality group of horses, but she still got the job done. She won by 2.5 lengths, going away with it. Very, very good run for her there. And then her first start against winners came at Keeneland, 6 furlongs on the mud sealed, going opposite 5 claims. She won by a neck. She had to be used a lot that day, but she got the victory. Wasn't as impressive after the race before or afterwards, but like I said, she got the job done. And then she broke the main at Gulfstream very nicely by 4, almost on lead all throughout. I like this horse a lot. I'm going to take her here. Like I said, I'm just going to give her the excuse last time out she was facing tougher horses. Here, not so tough. I'll take her 4-1. I think the Graveyard of Champions or favorites might, attack here, because I think the favorite's very beatable here. But to recap my selection for the third from Saratoga, it's the Grade 2 Prioress. Let's go with the 5 horse Royal Charlotte. We'll go 5-2-3-1 in the superfecta. So let's head over to race number 6 now from Saratoga. And excuse me if I keep stopping. I just had a very strong chili right before I started this video. I shouldn't have did it, but we've been digging up the garden all afternoon, me and my old man, and we have these chilies that a friend gave us, and we buried them, and we didn't know how spicy they are. Usually, the smaller the chili, the spicy they are. This thing looks like a jalapeno, twice the size of jalapeno. Almost looks like a bell pepper. And of course, me being me, I like a little bit of spice. Yeah, that was 20 minutes ago. I'm still stopping. I can still feel it in my throat. But let's carry on. Hopefully we don't, just start, going on fire here. But the 6th race from Saratoga, it is the Saranac Stakes. It's a Grade 3 event going for a purse of $200,000. Races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 6 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground, to the turf course. The distance of ground, 1,700 meters, or a mile 1/16 on the inner turf course. 1,700, a mile 16th inner turf course here. This race was one of the older races here in New York. I believe it's in its like 110th running at least, and it's a race rich in history. This was one of the premier 3-year-old turf races of the summer at Saratoga before they got that Saratoga Derby and the Lake George and all those other races. Now I think the 3-year-old division on turf is a little oversaturated. Because think about it, this weekend you have this race, you have the Virginia Derby, and then next week you have the Del Mar Derby this weekend, and then next week you have that Belmont Jockey Club Derby, whatever they're calling it, and and then you still have more of the races when you get to Keeneland and stuff, and what do you call it, the Hollywood Derby at Del Mar later in the year. So I think it's just an oversaturation of these 3-year-old turf races now. They used to be a good division, but now it's just a little bit too much for my liking. But with that being said, I do like the 1 horse Power Play. We'll go 1-6-2-4 in the superfecta, 1-6-2-4 super. Top selection 1 horse Power Play. 3-year-old colt by Distorted Humor, Jason Service Service trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of July at Belmont. Mile 1/16 on the Widener in the main special weight 80,000. First start as a 3-year-old. First start for Jason Service. The horse won by a half length and showed some speed that he never showed the race before, and sat on the front and all throughout. He dug in. It was an all-around great victory for him. Come to stakes competition for the first time shouldn't be a problem. Facing winners for the first time shouldn't be a problem. He looks like he'd be a bit of a versatile horse. Before that, he was under the care of Bob Baffert Santa Anita on the 29th of September of 2018. 1 mile main special weight 52,000, and Bob Baffert doesn't have a lot of turf runners, but this horse, he finished third by 3 1/4 lengths. He closed up well from the back of the pack, a little bit of troubled trip, but he ran decently that day. Keep in mind the winner, Flying Scotsman, won next start out, but he showed heart there. His most recent workout here at the spot was decent. For Jason Service doesn't kill the horses in the workouts. They do nice, slow, steady workouts, but he looks like he'd be versatile. He can set the pacer and come from behind. Not a lot of speed in this one, and I think the speed might hold up from the rail. Luis Saez 10-1. Gary Mary West, I'll take him. You have your Derby connections here, or your supposed Derby connections. Do I have to get into that? No, I don't. So let's get to recapping the selections for the 6 from Saratoga, which is the Grade 3 Saranac. Let's go with the 1-horse power play. We'll go 1-6-2-4 in the superfecta. Race number 10 from Saratoga. It's one of my favorite races. The 10th race, it's the Glens Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse $250,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses, but keep in mind the 6th horse is a main track only, so only 8 will go. The distance of ground of 2,200 meters, or a mile 3/8 on the inner turf course. 2,200 meters, mile 3/8 inner turf. And this is, kind of the stepping stone towards the Flower Bowl Invitational run at Belmont during the championship meet next month. And the Flower Bowl is the stepping stone towards the Breeze Cup Filly Mare Turf. So it's always a good race here, and you always see good horses win, except last year we had the horse Lady Montador sit on the front end, sit some easy fraction, and get away with it on almost a dark at Saratoga. I remember watching that race a lot and getting really pissed off. She's running back in this one today, but I don't like her. I'm actually going to go a different route with the 5 horses top selection, Mississippi. I'm going to go 5-4-2-8 in the superfecta. 5-4-2-8 super. Top selection 5 horse Mississippi. It's 4-year-old filly by Blame. Grand Motion trained Joel Rosario picks the mount up. The horse's most recent outing was under the care of David Simcock in the UK on the 8th of June at Haydock with very heavy ground. When it's heavy at Haydock, that means it's very heavy. It's almost waterlogged. A mile and a half in the Group 3 Pinnacle Stakes, and the horse did not like the wet going. Finished 7 by 13 lengths and just never got into it. It wasn't her day to win. Even before that, the Middleton at York, mile 5/16 on very firm ground. She finished 6 by 23 1/4 lengths, and again had nothing that day from the backpack. Winner Latidar finished second last year's St. Ledger at Doncaster, won it quite nicely, and Latidar is having a decent season, not as good as last year, but she got beat by a good horse there for Gazin Tori. And then before that, the Group 3 Royal Nave Stakes at Newmarket, a mile and a half, September the 28th of 2018. The horse finished second by a head, and she didn't break all that well, but she had a great turn of foot late. She handled the going there very nicely, and then at Longchamp in Illicit Stakes, the horse won by 1/4 lengths, and something the UK runners were very good at the last few seasons was going to France and picking up those listed stakes, or even the Group 3 races, but the listed stakes, the UK runners just going over there, they do very well in that group, and this horse, added to it, winning that very nice race at Longchamp on firm ground, and then ran the Group 2 Prix de la Noëtte, and the horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths, and just ran crap that day. Had a little bit of turn of foot, but it wasn't anything spectacular, but she liked the firm ground. If she sees a good pace in this one, I think she'll run well. You look at the form line at all the horses she faced in the UK, she faced some tough horses. Just look at the listed stakes she ran at Newbury back in June of 2018. Finished second behind Cedar Class, who went on to win next start out. They went on to finish second behind Enable in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe and the Longchamps. And it's sad that we lost her this year, but she faced some very tough horses there. These horses not nearly as tough, off a little bit refreshing at 4-1. I'm going to take her here. So to recap my selection for the 10th from Saratoga, it's the Grade 2 Glen Falls. Going to go with the 5 horse Mississippi. We'll go 5-4-2-8 in the superfecta. Race number 11 from Saratoga announced featured Woodward Stakes, Grade 1 event going for a purse of $750,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going to the main track, the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8, 1 lap around the Saratoga main track. 1,800, a mile, 1/8. And it's one thing I like the Woodward, but one thing that really bothers me is a lot of horses will be using this race as their last prep race towards the British Cup Classic, which I just don't like. I like the horses that use this race into the Jockey Club and then to Classic. It's just I'm not a big fan of the almost 3 month break between the Classic and the this race and the Classic. It's even worse with the Pacific Classic. It's almost 10 weeks, but or whatever. But with that being said, I still think it's a good race here. But and also I liked it at Belmont, but that's for another day. But the top selection here, we're going to go a different route here. We're going to go with the 8-horse Wooderson. We're going to go 8-1-7-3 in the superfecta. 8-1-7-3 super. Top selection 8-horse Wooderson. Free coat by Awesome again. Tom Pletcher trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of August at Saratoga, mile 8th in the Alley-Dar, and the horse finished second by length. He closed up well that day behind Tom Diatat, but he would have won if it was mile 3/16. But he closed up well. It was a very good race for this horse from the rail, earning himself a 103 buyer. Before that, in the Grade 2 Suburban at Belmont, Monocourt, July 6th, he was drawn a little bit too wide, had a little bit of a tough trip, and he finished 10th by 28 lengths. It wasn't his day to win. And then at Monmouth, mile 16th, opposite 25 Claimer, stepping down a loads class, the horse won by 5.5, and he got away with a very easy race. And then won his 2019 reappearance. He's probably the B string of Tom Pletcher in this race, but he's been working out very good since the last race. Actually, his workouts have come better into this race. He's going to have to overcome the wide posture, but I think he'll see a good pace, and I think at 12-1, everything points to him. He's a horse you want to keep a good look at, so I'll take him here, along with the 1-horse, Mr. Buff, 5-year-old gun by friend or foe. John Kimmel trains. Jose Liscano gets the mounts, and John Kimmel actually won the first Woodward here at Saratoga in 2005 or 6 with Premium Tap, who paid at a quite good premium there. I believe he was like 20-1. Actually went on to finish, I think, 3rd or 4th in that British Cup Classic at Churchill in the fall. He was a very good underrated horse. But this Mr. Buff, he's stepping up in the loads class, I do admit, but if there's going to be a scenario where the speed's going to hold up, I think it's going to be him. His most recent outing against State President Evan Shipman, he won by 3.5 lengths and just won for fun. Went around the track and just took off clear. Very good run. Before then, Saginaw, he won by 6.25 lengths. He could have won another 10 times around and still won easily. And then finished third in the Commentator, where he set some wicked fraction on the front end, just couldn't keep up at the end. Wasn't his day to win, but he ran too fast. But his last start against Open Company came in New Orleans Handicap, where he ran absolutely crap. Finished 9th by 23.25 lengths and just had nothing. And it wasn't the toughest race at all. But that was, maybe it's just the shipping. He wasn't used to it. I'm not sure. But before that, won the Jazzle by 5.25 on the lead all throughout, and 102 buyer, and won the Alex M. Robb at Aqueduct very nicely on the front end. He's 4-2 at Saratoga. His worst finish here was just a 4th a few years ago, but he likes this trip. I think he could really get a good run. At 8-1, I'll use him also on the multi-tickets, and, I might do a small win place on him, but, I like him a lot as a price play. So to recap my selection for the 11th from Saratoga, it's the Grade 1, $750,000 Woodward. We'll take the 8-horse Wooderson as a top selection. We'll also take the 1-horse Mr. Buff. We'll go 8-1-7-3 in the Superfecta. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5.